everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. This is the place where women over 60 come to be inspired. My guest today is Shila Desai. Shila is a writer, she's a world traveler, and she's the founder and owner of a company called Eat Your Heart Out Tours. She takes people all around the world to explore amazing cultures and meet new people. It's really great to have you here, Shila. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Margaret, for having me on. Really excited to be here and a little nervous as well.
No, don't be at all. Honestly, we have a wonderful community of women who are so into travel. I think it's the thing like people put most on their bucket list when they retire. It's like, I want to travel. So
Right.
I'm happy that you're here so you can help us a bit to understand. Now, first question. A lot of our women have traveled by themselves, for years, or maybe with their husband or partner. And now they want to do something either with a group or, as a solo participant in a group. So tell us what your opinion is about solo versus group travel.
So I personally like both styles, and if I have to choose between the two, I think it's like day and night. So I think you need both because each sustains you differently. The advantages of being in a group is basically you're suddenly opening yourself up to meeting a whole bunch of like-minded travelers, and suddenly you've got say a group is 8 people or 10 people, you've suddenly got the potential for making 8 new friends. And when you travel, it's just because you are being taken out of your comfort zone. You're doing something different to your everyday, running around. You get so much of an opportunity to connect on a deeper level. So that's what I love about group travel. I think that basically it brings all these people into your life, which you normally would not have a chance to do that. And then, of course, there's the advantages of the whole thing being planned and organized. You just show up with your suitcase. And it's led by, sometimes it's led by experts. Certainly, you always have very knowledgeable guides who kind of lead you into the best part of the country. And then, you also got the whole thing about the cost of transportation, guides, all of that comes down when you're in a group. So there's a host of advantages to group travel. Yeah.
I've always traveled alone. This has always been my style, right, all my life. But recently I've just thought, there's a little bit more, it's not risk with travel, but you feel a little bit more vulnerable as you get older. And I think when you're in that group situation, you've got, the resources of a leader and you've got a group of people that are, there to support you. And maybe you do things in a group that you wouldn't quite do on your own, like go dancing at night or go out to a restaurant and, be a bit more relaxed because you're in a group. So I think that's important. So group is great, but what about solo? I mean, there are some benefits, of course.
So I love solo also because, like I said, it's like yin and yang or day and night. We need both in a way. And solo, there's no risk of. Sometimes, I mean, there are group dynamics, there are personalities, and so there's no risk of being stuck in a group where you think, I just don't have anything in common with these people. What am I doing here? And I've got 2 more weeks to go through. You've also got the advantage of just doing what you want. You're your own person, your own master. And you can wander off, you can stop for a break where you want, you can go where you want. And so there's that advantage, of course. And then solo travel does require a greater deal of courage because you're it. You making the decisions, somebody else is not making the decisions for you. So it does require you to step out more out of your comfort zone. And people find this exhilarating. Many travelers find it very exhilarating to say, hey, I did it. Wow, I didn't think I could do it. So it's that sense of accomplishment. I mean, group travel could be the same for some people because going into a group can be intimidating for some people as well. But if you've got a really good group leader and you've got good guides, it's their job to make sure that things mesh between people.
I'm glad you said that, Shila, by the way. I'm glad you said that because I think the beauty is that a group travel that you research and you know where you're going to be and you know the kind of theme perhaps of the tour, that you're going to do something that is likely to be with women or guys of common that you have a passion that you share. So if someone has been traveling for quite a while, like a lot of the women in our community, where would they go to find a really good, good group experience in your experience?
So one of my favorites is Journeywoman.
Yeah.
Evelyn, who's the force behind Journeywoman, has taken solo and group travel for women. She's been a pioneer, and so she runs an online news magazine. And every month she puts out these lists of classifieds for group travel and solo travel. And then another one is grown up travel that's run by Jane Canapini. I like Jane's style a lot. She doesn't. She has a lot of advice about all the travels that she's doing, but she doesn't actually promote a lot of individual companies. But she has tons. She visits a lot of places all over the world, and then she's a great resource as well. And then of course. My company, Eat Your Heart Out Tours, was founded because I felt that there was a need. I sensed a need. I came into it very organically. I sensed there was a need there. Women and not just women, but older travelers were looking for a deeper experience than just going like, okay, we'll go to India and check off. We went to Taj Mahal, and so Agra Fort, and we rode the elephants. But they wanted more of a cultural immersion. And so I thought, why not bring insiders who really understand the culture of the country that you're going to, in addition to understanding the Western culture and act as a cultural bridge. So that's where I came at it, and it's been almost it's almost 10 years since I started. So yeah, and so that's one place that people can go to.
Yeah. So Eat Your Heart Out Tours. I always say that Sheila's site is fabulous. It's very inspiring. It's EYHO tours.com. And it's a great place to go. And tell us a bit about the average size of your groups and where you go. Give us a taste of the kind of experiences that you create and organize. I think you call yourself the creative organizer, or the you're the, I don't know,
conceptualizer.
Conceptualizer. I love that. But yeah,
conceptualizer of meanderings.
Tell us about the tours you conceptualize and deliver on.
Right. So the average, to go back to the questions you asked, the average group size can be anywhere. It can be as small as 6 or 8, and all the way up to about 16. Some of the tours are, but I really don't like taking more than 16 or 15 people, because I feel that is the ideal group size for people to find somebody or a number of people who are more like-minded. So the group dynamics, I feel, work very, very well in an ideal group size about 12. And where do we go? So my thing is, I tend not to go to places like Europe and North America, because that's where my market basically resides, and they're comfortable with those places. Excuse me. And like I said, I think I'm more of a cultural bridge, having roots in East Africa. I was born in Kenya and raised in Kenya, and then I was educated in England, and I'm also of Indian ancestry. So I have roots in all these countries. So I feel that I can bring that kind of cultural bridge to countries that might seem a little intimidating. India seems a bit like, oh, where do I start? Such a huge country of whatever 1.3 billion people and such diversity. Where do I start? Or say Myanmar or Sri Lanka or these are the countries that are on people's bucket lists as they age, but they kind of feel, I'm sensing this, that I'd rather go with somebody who can understand the Western culture as well as the culture out there in the East, and bring that understanding to deepen their experience. So those are my places that I specialize in, Margaret. Yeah.
Well, what I really love about your site and about the tours that you organize is, I mean, what really makes a group tour amazing is if you are having an experience that is about the experience, and that you are somehow transformed and you're somehow changed by it. And I think when you have a tour that gets you to the people, that gets you to connect with the individuals, the people who live in these places. And I mean, for example, I know you do a textiles tour in India and a cooking tour, I think, in Sri Lanka, but you put the focus on the experience, and then everything else just, obviously falls into place.
Right. So what happens is I figured out that it's in every country, for example, a country has what I call a main event. So, for example, I feel that in India, the main event is textiles because you have such a deep historical connection with how textiles first started. They first started, 4,000 years ago. Cotton was actually domesticated in the Indus Valley, and the spinning actually started. The spinning wheel was invented in the Indus Valley. So you've got that deep historical connection, and India has always been. Anybody who looks at Indian textiles, they're like, gorgeous. Oh, I want to own this. I want to know how it's made. So I think in India, textiles are the main event. So I will devise a tour in certain parts of India that basically use the lens of textile to kind of start carving deeper into the culture of the country and why things happen the way they happen. So it's actually, I think it's a thinking tour. So it's not just, okay, we're going to skim on the surface and sightsee and then come back and say, hey, we did that. But we're actually going to go and understand why are textiles a main event and why the country has evolved the way it has. So textiles, yes, that's one of the themes. Culinary, that's another. I mean, these are all the things that connect us universally.
Yes.
We all need clothing. We all need food. We need architecture to we need houses to live in. So so my tour's taken that universality of the human species, but then we're transporting that to another country, which people might need help navigating. So,
No, that's a great summary. And I think what you said before, too, is there are lots of other places that you can go to check out group tours because, I mean, for example, on Evelyn's site that you mentioned, I love Journey Woman as well. There's people like yourself that put your tours up there. You promote them. So maybe you're looking for a spirituality tour or you're looking for something that's a little bit different lens. So we'd encourage you to check those out. But Shila's site is EY, Eat Your Heart Out. So EYHOtours.com. Thanks, Sheila. It's been wonderful chatting with you about group tours, and I hope that everyone's been inspired by your passion and your enthusiasm for it.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our 60andMe YouTube channel and also visit our website. We are a strong and dynamic community of women over 60. We're challenging aging stereotypes, and every day we share fascinating stories, interesting questions, and great conversation.